Hey everybody, my name is Jason Krill, this is Lawn Care Life. Today I'm trying out a very powerful combination that I've never used before to control weeds, and I'm going to test it on some of the toughest weeds I can find in the yard. We're going to see how well it works. Let me show you the combo I'm using and it will spray the weeds. Here's what I'm trying out today, and these are not products I'm just going to mix in my big spray rig and go spray the whole yard. It'd be quite expensive. So I've got Tribute Total, which is a Bayer product for zoysia and Bermuda lawns, and I understand not everybody's got zoysia and Bermuda lawns, but you might be curious just to see if this is possible to kill these weeds that I'm going to try it on. And then I'm mixing that with Dismiss NXT. Dismiss NXT is sulfentrazone and carfentrazone, and I'm going to put both of these products in there. Matter of fact, I've already done it, and I'm putting them in there at the high rate, and I am putting methylated seed oil in there as my surfactant. The methylated seed oil is going to hopefully make these products more effective than the non-ionic surfactant that I typically use. My understanding is methylated seed oil is a little bit more recognizable to the plant, and I don't quite understand the science behind it, but anyway, that's what we're using to try to get the best results we can as far as Dismiss NXT and Tribute Total on these tough weeds. If you can want to explain methylated seed oil to me in the comments and why it works better or heats things up a little bit, maybe a little more risk of turf burn than a non-ionic surfactant, I would appreciate that. I am spraying this in the summertime. It's late in the evening, it's cooled off a little bit, so we're going to see what kind of turf burn we get. But I might can live with a little bit of turf burn if we can control these tough weeds. Of course, when you make these applications, please wear your PPE and follow the label. Now, y'all can make fun of me if you want to, but this backpack sprayer, I got it on clearance at Walmart, but it works fine. It may not be the best one out there, but it's doing great for this. I do have the products mixed at the high rate on both of them, but I spray it fairly lightly. So, you know, if you're gonna spray a heavy trigger, then you may not wanna put it at the high rate when you're mixing. All right, I've already got the flags out marking the weeds. The first weed here is Dallisgrass. Now this is Crabgrass right here. I've got Dallisgrass right here. And if this will kill Dallisgrass, I'll be okay with a little turf burn. So, got Bermuda grass in the area. I'm gonna spray it and we'll see what happens. I'll be honest, even if it took 2 applications to kill the Dallisgrass, it would still be worth it, but we'll see what happens after 1 application. Now this next weed's called carpet grass. I've shown this before, but when you see the seed head, it's easy because it's a Y and it's got one little kicker coming off below the Y, okay? So just on one side. So this, it looks kind of like centipede a little bit, but in a Bermuda yard, I'm gonna spray this carpet grass and see what happens. The next weed I'm going to show you is this weed right here. This is broom sedge. Now broom sedge likes acidic soil, and this is actually a giant broom sedge, bigger than what I would normally see in somebody's yard. I'm going to try this on broom sedge and just see what it does. If it'll kill this huge one, or at least show me some results on it, then I feel more confident trying it on a smaller broom sedge in somebody's yard. I think it's some type of paspalum, and I may be saying that wrong. You guys can correct me if you want to. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it looks a little different than Dallisgrass, and I got a feeling it's going to be tough to kill just like Dallisgrass, so let's see what happens. All right, the next weed I want to show you is this, the lighter color weed here. It typically has like a pink center to the plant. Let me see if I can show an example, but you can see the pink in there. And this is annual foxtail, so let's spray it, sort of a bluish green tint to it, and then next up will be goosegrass, which is here. I've got a separate goosegrass plant marked. So first, on this right here, we're focusing on the annual foxtail. All right, I've got a grown man goosegrass here. This is a big daddy. Let's spray it and see what happens. Okay, a bunch of crabgrass feathered out throughout the lawn here. So I'm just going to spray a section. And most of these weeds, we'll be able to find one that's not been sprayed so we can compare what's been sprayed with what hasn't been sprayed. See here, this is Kalinga. I believe it's false green Kalinga. You can see the little spiky ball that sticks up in it. And so I'm going to spray it and we'll see what happens. I know Dismiss NXT is a great product for Kalinga. I expect good results. And this is nut sedge. I believe in particular this is purple nut sedge. yellow nutsedge it usually grows a little more upright, a little bit lighter green color. So let's spray the purple nutsedge, and I believe between these two products, just one of them would give us pretty good results, but let's see what happens when we spray both of them. As mentioned, again, there's nutsedge here that's not been sprayed, so we can compare what's been sprayed with what hasn't been sprayed. In the last little patch here I'm spraying, there's not actually a weed that I'm targeting, but I've got some zoysia grass here, and I want to spray the zoysia grass to see how well it tolerates this combination of herbicides compared to the Bermuda grass, because most of the weeds are out in the Bermuda grass. I'll see how it handles the Bermuda grass, or the Bermuda grass handles the herbicide rather, and now I want to see what does this herbicide do to zoysia grass. All right, I'm excited to see the results. I expect it to be pretty fast, to be honest with you. We'll see how long we need to give it, but we'll check in at least twice on these weeds, and then we'll come to the final conclusion of how much damage they do to the turf and what kind of control did we get on these tough to control weeds. It's been just under 48 hours since the initial application, and let's see what's going on with the weeds. Can't remember what order we sprayed them in, so this may be in a slightly different order, but first up is the paspalum, if I'm saying it right. And I can see a little bit of damage done to the Bermuda grass, but not much. And it looks like we're getting just a little bit of discoloration on the weed. This is going to be a tough one, but I want to just give you the initial update. All right, what about the broom sedge? Definitely starting to turn brown a little bit. I can see it on the leaves, if you can see that on the camera there. And this one, I sprayed it kind of heavy, to be honest with you. It's not really in the yard. So we'll see what happens, but definitely seeing some initial results, which is a good sign. And there's a giant broom sedge that was not sprayed, and you can see there's no brown on it, it's just all green. Next up is the carpet grass, and to be honest with you, not a whole lot going on with that, maybe just a little bit of discoloration. The good sign is the Bermuda grass not showing much effect negatively either. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time before the next update so we can see some more results, but let's give it a little bit more time. But let's check on the rest of the weeds. Dallisgrass, very similar, just a little bit of discoloration I'm seeing. Again, not much damage to Bermuda grass. A couple of these weeds that we're gonna look at, I saw a lot more action going on, so let's go check those out. All right, you wanna see something happening? I finally found one that's got some serious results here, and this is the goosegrass. And I believe the Dismiss NXT gives you very fast results on goosegrass. The seed head's turning brown, the overall plant's turning brown. You can compare that with goosegrass like this one that's not been sprayed. It's perfectly green versus that one. This one was the foxtail mixed in here, and definitely starting to see some stuff here. Now I had some goosegrass mixed in with the foxtail, so this is goosegrass here, with the lighter bluish green in the middle here was foxtail, which is our target weed. And it's doing a number on it as well. So we're getting good results, fast results on those two weeds. It's not a race, but we're just checking out what happens after only 2 days. Crabgrass, not a lot to write home about, but I see a little bit of discoloration, so we'll give it a little bit more time. Kalinga, I can see it's definitely starting to turn brown. Again, Dismiss NXT is very quick to work on sedges. Nutsedge, you see the discoloration, the brown spots coming up. So the key on that is when I mow the grass, is it going to grow back? That's what I'll be more interested in. Tribute Total, I believe, has a sedge product mixed in with it too. So I really expect to get good results on this. Again, I'm using an expensive combination. This isn't exactly for light weed cleanup in your lawn. I'm just using it to see if I can really kill some of those heavy duty grassy weeds, but we're going to try it on the sedges also. And the last checkup is on the zoysia grass. No weeds in this situation. We just wanted to see what's going on, and so far so good. Not much damage, if any, after first 2 days. I believe it's been 5 days since we did the application with the Tribute Total mixed with the Dismiss NXT. Let's see what's going on with the weeds. One thing I am noticing right off is that we are getting a little bit of tip burn to the grass. A little bit of discoloration to the Bermuda grass. Nothing terrible, nothing I'm really overly concerned about, but I can see it. Let me see if I can just back away a little bit. There's just a little yellowing compared to the greenness of the grass that has not been sprayed. This is a carpet grass, and I know just spraying Celsius on carpet grass will kill it, but it can be kind of slow. So it looks like we're getting a little bit faster results, again 5 days in. So let's check on the other weeds and see what's going on. All right, Dallisgrass, and you can see it's kind of weird. These plants do this sometimes. They start turning basically purple. And I think that's a good sign, but again, I can see a little bit of discoloration in Bermuda grass. And this is going to take a while. This is not going to die in the next day or two, so we may have to drag this out a little bit. But it definitely looks worse than it did the other day, so that's a good sign. Okay, the giant broom sedge clump. Again, I sprayed it kind of heavy. Turning it brown. If this will kill broom sedge, that would be a huge plus. And again, I'm not necessarily expecting it to kill this giant broom sedge. If I find one that's about 1/10 this size in somebody's yard, if it would kill it, that would be awesome, because it's a very difficult weed to control. All right, now you compare this with the Dallisgrass. This is a paspalum, and you can see how purple it looks. I mean, it basically turned the whole plant purple almost. And you can obviously see the discoloration, the Bermuda. Again, that's gonna bounce back real quick. I'm really not worried about that if this will control these really tough weeds. So that's the results we're getting so far on the paspalum. All right, if you want to see results, these are the weeds that were really getting some noticeable results. This was a giant goosegrass. I'll be honest, it seems like what I saw happen earlier, where it really does some initial damage to it, but I'm already seeing some new green growth coming out of the plant. So I don't think it's going to kill it. I think you have to get the goosegrass when it's at a younger state, or maybe apply multiple applications. I kind of expect this plant to continue to recover, but boy, does it give you some initial burn down in the first few days. And if it's a smaller plant, I believe it will knock it out. We'll see about the foxtail. It's the annual foxtail, and he's turning it red colored, you know, reddish purple. And I don't know, we'll have to watch this one and see. Obviously getting some initial results. You can see where it did a lot of damage on the goosegrass over here. But we'll see if that's going to continue to get worse, or if it's going to start to recover. And I'm spraying these in a very mature state. So in a younger time in their life, they would have been easier to control. The crabgrass, going to be a little slow. It's a little worse than it did the other day as far as discoloration. It's going to be a slow process. You can spray this with solitaire and it just zaps it in about 2 days. You can see what it looks like so far. Kalinga definitely getting some burn down on it. Some of these weeds I may have to cut the grass and just see if they come back or not, and this would be one where I believe it would keep it suppressed for a while. Let's check out the purple nutsedge. Here's the purple nutsedge. You can see the yellowing in there. I think if we cut the grass, it's going to keep it suppressed a while, probably get the initial burn down from the Dismiss NXT, and hopefully the sedge product in there with Tribute Total is going to keep it suppressed for a while. So I think we'll get good results. Slight discoloration in the grass, but nothing too terrible. All right, and the last thing we're going to look at is the Bermuda grass patch. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a distance view, because I can see from a distance that it is greener here than if you get over here. It's got some discoloration. So, you know, not really much worse than the Bermuda. I would say slightly worse discoloration on the Zoysia Bermuda, and it may be a little slower to turn green again, but it's nothing. It's not like I killed it. Just something to be aware of if you're going to spray it. You may get a little discoloration. Cooler temperatures, obviously, you're going to probably have less damage to the turf. So what I want to do is give this some more time. I think we need longer periods of time to see some of these weeds die. I may cut the grass in some of these areas. I'm definitely going to cut the grass. I just don't know if I'm going to cut the areas where the weeds have been sprayed or not. But let's give it an extended period of time and come back and see what's going on after it's had some more time to work. It's been about 10 days since the initial application. Let's give you an update, see how the weeds are looking. All right, I keep changing the order up that I take a look at these weeds, but you can start off today with the purple nutsedge. And the good thing is, what I did, I cut the grass a few days ago, and I didn't pull the flag out of the ground, I left it, but I got as close as I could to it with the lawnmower. So you can see where this purple nutsedge has been mowed, and it's virtually even with the Bermuda grass, not really growing, compared to the nutsedge over here that's already shot back up above the turf. So it is turning it yellow and brown, but more importantly in my mind, it's keeping it suppressed where it's not sticking up above the turf, which is kind of what we're going for. There's more examples where you can see it. Again, I'm sitting here looking at it from above. It's about turf high. It's pretty much stopped it from growing. All right, this is the Zoysia that we sprayed just to see what kind of discoloration we got. And to be honest with you, the Zoysia around it's not very green, not looking great right now. But I think even at the last checkup, we basically had reached the climax of the discoloration. So I expect the turf to actually start to recover now and not continue to get worse. So, you know, it is there. It did do a little bit of damage to the turf, but nothing extreme. And again, I think with rain, it's going to start recovering. You probably mow off some of the brown as the grass grows. All right, here's the Kalinga. Again, I did the same thing. I mowed the grass, but I didn't pull the flag up. And you can see the ones that haven't been mowed, they're sticking up, turning brown. And the ones that have been mowed are down here in the turf, suppressed. So very similar results to what we got with the nut sedge. And it's burning it down, keeping it from growing, and basically almost unnoticeable in the lawn. Again, if you want to get down here really close, you would obviously see it. But if you didn't know that this was here and I didn't have it marked with a flag, you'd have to be hard pressed to find this Kalinga. The crabgrass still turning colors, suppressing the growth. You can see some here over here that's not been sprayed. It's a lot greener. So it's going to be slow on this. I expect it to continue to deteriorate, but we are getting the results we're looking for. Again, there's faster, better products for crabgrass control. Just to be honest with you, the quinclorac products will give you really quick post-emergent control on your crabgrass. But if you just want to suppress it, I was just testing it, see how well it would work. And we are getting results, and again, I expect this crabgrass to continue to get worse before it gets better. This is the foxtail. You can see what it's done is turning it red, suppressing it. I don't think it's going to kill it. I think it probably will recover, maybe with a second application, maybe if you spray it at an earlier stage in the life cycle. I did not mow as closely to this. Obviously, you can see this untreated goosegrass that's growing really tall. So if I cut this with a lawnmower, maybe it would suppress it and keep it from coming back as quickly. It probably would, but I don't think we're gonna get just an all-out kill on the foxtail. Similar results on the goosegrass, a lot of burn down, a lot of brown coloration, but I can actually see the plant already starting to recover, starting to put out new green leaves. So I do think it's going to recover. If you are able to apply it 2 applications or get a younger goosegrass, then you may be able to get complete kill on this weed, but you see the results we got. All right, what about the paspalum? I don't think it's going to die. I think it would take another application. And also, and I may have mentioned this earlier, but controlling this in the fall is going to probably be a better time. So I'm doing this in the summertime, which is not ideal for weed control, but if I waited later in the fall, I might have got better results on this. Obviously, another application may also give better results. This could be my thumbnail picture if I want to do a video on how to turn a weed purple, because I basically turned this weed purple. I imagine I have suppressed the growth. If I mow this, I don't think it would grow back as fast. So it is some control, but I don't think we're going to get a full-out kill with 1 application. Broom sedge. Not a whole lot has changed since the initial application on this. Now again, this is a giant broom sedge compared to what I would normally see in a lawn. I'm actually pretty encouraged by these results. I feel like with a smaller typical broom sedge that I see in some of our lawns, maybe I could get full control because I do see a lot of damage done to the plant. But again, I don't think it's going to die. With a single application. Not much has changed since the last time I've looked at it. Carpet grass, really good results. I think it will continue to die over time. And the good thing is on this, if I kind of come back out a little bit, there was some turf damage here, and I feel like the Bermuda grass is already starting to recover. Yes, you can see a little brown in there, but some of the brown you see is from the actual carpet grass. Some of the Bermuda looks like is turned green again. So it seems to me on the Bermuda grass, any damage you do to the lawn is probably going to be very short-lived. The zoysium may last a little bit longer. And finally, the Dallisgrass. Similar to the paspalum, I've turned it purple, suppressed the growth, and I do think with multiple applications, maybe I could finish it off. Doing this in fall instead of summer would also be better. But I'm encouraged with these results. I think we got some serious damage to the plant. It gives me hope that I can actually use this combination to kill Dallisgrass in the fall or maybe early spring. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me hear your thoughts below. What did you think about the combination? Do you have a combination that you're using on some of these tough weeds? This paspalum, this Dallisgrass, broom sedge, some of these really hard to control weeds, or any of the weeds that I've shown. If you want to get in the weed control and fertilization business, go to lawncarelife.com. I got the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy. I got price and charge programs, lots of stuff over there, even for people with mowing grass, mosquito spraying. lawncarelife.com. I think I've got almost 1,000 videos on my channel, so you can check those out by clicking on my channel name. Also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I create new content. We'll see you guys in the next video.